Hello, Zoe and Jamie back again, following up some more on the basics of HTML. I wanted to end the last video because it was getting too long, and if you were wondering, these are actually some booties that I'm stretching because they're his favourite booties and he grew out of them, so I'm trying to stretch them out with thumbtacks, in case you were wondering. Last thing that I wanted to say about the recipe that I wrote up here. You see, I've closed off all those list items now. They're all closed off. First thing I wanted to say is that you'll notice that nowhere in the HTML does it say anything like recipe or ingredient or instructions. The markup is completely agnostic when it comes to the content. That is to say, it doesn't care what it is. This could be a recipe for making LSD. It could be just instructions to get to your mum's house. It could be items to go in your packing for your trip to Barbados. I should be so lucky. It really doesn't matter at all. It's always going to be the same basic stuff. So there's no like amazing second set of little tags there that you're going to need to memorize for different types of things. The computer doesn't care because, as we've established, the computer is not just stupid, it's not even intelligent enough to be stupid. It doesn't understand anything. The second thing I want to point out is how much more information it looks like there is on this page now. And what I'd like to say about that is that actually there really isn't. If you have a bit of a look, it looks like it's now really complicated and fussy and covered in information. There aren't actually that many bits of information here. There's the bit where it says H1. There's the bit where it says this is an unordered list. There's the bit where it says this is an ordered list. And there's a couple of bits where it's saying what the list items are. It looks worse than it is what I'm trying to say there. These things look quite complex, but structurally they're quite easy. Like if you imagine that everywhere we get an opening tag, there's always going to be a closing tag, right? So really you could just ignore all those closing tags. The actual information, those are the only bits. If you were trying to read this as a human being, just reading those starting bits would tell you everything you needed to know. And if you knew that everything inside an unordered list was going to be a list item, just take those right away, and everything inside an ordered list was going to be a list item. That's all you're dealing with. So that huge, big, scary looking page of blue that we had only really had in it information to say, here's a heading, here's an unordered list, and here's an ordered list. Plus all the little list items, but they were very predictable. So you can see it looks dense. We're used to reading for meaning in every single word on the page. It looks very dense, but the actual meaningful bits, there's not that many of them. You can get your head around this stuff pretty fast if you just remember that there's a lot less going on than it seems when you start looking and you're like, oh, so many bits of information. It's not actually that many bits of information. It's very, very manageable as long as you ignore most of it. I'm sure that that's terrible advice, but like I said before, I have a cold, so I apologize for that.